this is a team that is going to make the playoffs? Or is it dependent maybe now more on feeling like they have to make some type of a move if they're really going to give themselves a good chance?
Yeah,
I mean, it's a little concerning because the margins have always been so slim, right? Like they're
Yeah.
not a top 3 team in the division, and they're not going to be a top 3 team in the division. So you're relying on that wild card, and you're relying on a roster that doesn't have a ton of experience. And I would say, for Brady Tkachuk and Jake Sanderson to have the experiences they did at the Four Nations was super positive. And I'm
Yes.
sure they picked up a lot of pointers from their older teammates there. So it's those guys that I think are going to have to kind of lead the charge and say, like, okay, like this is when we buckle down. This is when we can't drop unnecessary points. Like every game, you got to play like it's a game 7. And I mean, that's hard to do in the regular season and to sustain it over time. But if they want to make that extra push to actually clinch that playoff spot, that's what it's going to take in the East.
Yeah, and I don't think Kachuk has played since coming back for them yet. So he hasn't even gotten to inject his Four Nations experience quite yet. What do you think, Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's going to be dependent on Brady Tkachuk, to be honest. Like whether his health is a factor down the stretch, because he had just, I would argue that he had the best tournament of any player, not on Team Canada,
Right.
at the Four Nations. And you would hope that's a springboard, but because, him and his brother basically left the ice hobbling from that tournament, you're kind of wondering like what kind of shape he's going to be in for what's going to be a tough stretch run for Ottawa. Like Ryan mentioned, like every win, every point is going to really come, this is going to determine Ottawa's fate. So, if I'm Steve Stais and the rest of management there, it's really on management's, onus here to make sure that Ottawa has all the weapons that they need.
Yeah.
Like there can't be any excuse like, they decided not to go all in because they're going to figure for next year. It's like, it's been 7 long years for Tkachuk.
Yeah.
He's got to be in the playoffs this year. It's just, if he's not in there, then what a travesty.